Hi guys, Teacher Laura here. One of the biggest pain points I see with my readers is how do I get bookings? How can I consistently get bookings, especially as a new teacher? Since I work with many referrals, I get to see kind of like an insider view of their journey. And I periodically get emails from some of my referrals saying, thank you so much, this has really worked out for me, and this is how successful I've been with the company. This is how many classes I've taught, this is how many hours I've worked, and it's inspiring. And I kind of want to share some of those stories with my readers, especially the ones who might not be getting as many bookings as they would like. Today I am going to talk about my referral. Her name is Samantha. I asked her a list of questions, and I'm going to share those answers with you now. So the first question that I asked Samantha was, when was your first day teaching with VIPKID? And her response was, my first day that I taught with VIPKID was January 9th, 2020. That's when I signed my contract, and I opened slots immediately after I signed my contract or after it became active. Sometimes it can take a couple hours for your account to become active. So if you sign your contract and you realize, I can't open classes yet, just give it a few hours and you'll be able to open classes. And that's when I suggest that you open classes is immediately. This next question has a very long answer, so I'm actually going to break it down into points. So the question I asked her was, what steps did you take to get so many bookings right away? Any tricks or tips? What slots did you open from the get-go? And just to preface this, Samantha started her journey in January 9th, and during the month of February, she taught 426 classes with VIPKID. This is an insane amount of classes. Just to kind of put that into perspective, I have never even come close to teaching that many classes. I kind of do it for my sanity, but that is an absolute amazing number, especially for a new teacher. The first thing that she mentioned is, I had a mentor. I had a referral. She said, first, I had a mentor. You know, you. You looked at everything that I planned to submit for my profile and told me what to tweak. I listened to people who had more experience than me. I made sure to have my classroom set up before my demos so that when I was ready to open bookings, I could as soon as possible. So her first point is use a referral. Whether it's me or somebody else, use a referral so that you can get as much advice as possible. The second thing Samantha mentioned is that she got both the lower and the intermediate certifications before she signed her contract. This put her kind of a leg up on the competition because she went into her contract with 4 certifications. Keep in mind, you can get those certifications as soon as you sign your contract, which I highly recommend. She said, I went ahead and got certified during my application for both level 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I started out with those 4 levels being advanced rather than basic. I made sure to get my level 1 and trials as soon as possible. As soon as she had access to her dashboard, she went and took the quizzes to get her level 1 and her trials. The third thing she mentioned is, along with the level 1 and the trials, she also worked on getting every possible certification that was available for teachers. Every single one. Now keep in mind, this might seem like a lot of work, but really all you're going to be doing is taking quizzes. So it's not as much work as it seems. The fourth thing that Samantha did to get all of these bookings was, in her free time, she spent time reading every blog, every article, and taking as many workshops with VIPKID as possible. She said, I spent the daytime reading blogs, articles, and taking workshops. I took every workshop that I could possibly take. I joined every group and blog that I could find. I spent hours reading what people had written in blogs and in the workshop materials, trying to soak up everything that I possibly could from people who had already been through their newbie stage. I spent more hours in workshops with pros than I want to count. I especially recommend any that are noted for newbies, particularly anything from JoJo or anything from Michelle T on Chinese culture. The fifth thing she mentions is that she opened every single slot available and marked them all as short notice. She said, I started out opening all of the slots that were available. I would open them all short notice and had alarms to wake me up to check to see if they were booked. If they weren't, I closed them. I was terrified of getting booked for a short notice class and not being there. I did that for the month of January, the entire month. I literally opened every slot for January and started taking off an hour here or there in February when her bookings increased. I opened my schedule for at least a month at a time. Now, keep in mind, she opened her slot for a month at a time, but parents are not able to book classes until 2 weeks in advance. So it's not essentially necessary to open your schedule a month in advance, but if you forget to open your schedule, then it might be better if you open it a month in advance so that you don't miss out on any opportunities to get more classes. The sixth thing she mentions is that she personalized every single feedback that she had with each student. So although I have a blog post that details an outline of what you can say to your student for feedback, she actually did it in a more personal level. She really tapped into their feelings, their likes, their dislikes, and really went into detail about what the student did right and how they can improve and how she can help them improve. She also mentioned that she sent e-cards to students before and after each class. The next thing that Samantha mentioned is that she invested in her business. She said, "No, I didn't run out and buy everything that I saw that all the cool VIPKID teachers had, but I did make sure I had good headphones, good lights, a digital drawing tablet to write, and props." She said, "I felt that I went overboard with printable props because it was difficult to organize them, especially with so many classes pouring in." Then she mentioned that she eventually went to digital everything. "I invested in some green fabric and moved to green screening. I use OBS, which is free. I also bought a computer in the middle of February that could actually run OBS, green screen, VIPKID, and my digital rewards and props. It was a few $100s, but I felt like it was important to have good equipment so I could always be prepared." Now, here's the thing. I think that was really cool what she did, and I'm sure her students appreciate it. This is her experience, and it worked really well for her. I don't think that it's necessary for all teachers to run out and invest hundreds of dollars into VIPKID, though, because the point of VIPKID is for us to make money. So, although it worked really well for Samantha, I wouldn't jump right into that and invest a bunch of money in it because you want to build your student base first, and that's what she did too. And the last thing that Samantha mentions is that she ended up switching to a nocturnal schedule. She says, "In January, I worked when I was booked. I made the switch to nocturnal, and as soon as I started getting booked, I didn't turn anything down. I literally worked every single night from January 27th to February 17th. No, all of the nights weren't well booked until February 3rd, but I worked every night. I took off February 17th to spend the day with my husband since he was off, and then I worked every day until March 29th. Most of these nights were booked for 9+ hours. I took March 29th off and do not plan on taking another day off until the end of April, maybe mid-May. This way I can build my regulars and be available for anything possible." I actually have another story from another referral who is also doing really well with VIPKID that I will share on a different date, who started out with 2 or 3 weeks of nocturnal schedule and then switched over to her desired schedule. So that wraps up question number 2. Those are all of the things Samantha did in order to build her schedule to over 900 classes in the first 3 months. Question number 3, I asked, "Do you think this is achievable for other teachers?" And she said, "I think getting 400 classes is possible for anyone who wants it. It takes hard work, grit on the days or weeks that you have no bookings, and willpower to give each and every class your best, especially when you are starting out. My husband and I had a very serious talk. We decided that I had 2 options. Option 1, do VIPKID as a part-time gig and get a part-time gig in town at Tractor Supply or something. Option 2 was to switch to being nocturnal and do VIPKID full-time. I would sleep during the day and be available all night. I put in a ton of applications while I made the switch. It was hard. It was hard to fall asleep in the mornings, especially now that my husband is home all the time. It was mostly hard on the weekends when we wanted to spend time together while I still had to sleep during the day. Pulling the night shift has gotten much easier, but it certainly is not what my body and mind naturally want to do. The fourth thing that I asked Samantha was, you work with 2 companies, VIPKID and QKids. Would you recommend that others teach for more than one company? Why or why not? And she said, I have been hired by VIPKID, GoGoKid, and QKids. I did not like some of the things I found out about GoGoKid after I was hired. I've never opened availability with them. I think everyone should explore their options and have some kind of backup. I think QKids is a good backup, and that the old saying, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, is true when it comes to online ESL companies. With VIPKID, you are not guaranteed bookings. QKids gives more stability. You aren't guaranteed bookings, but the company books you instead of the parents. I think that finding that good second company that can get you through hard times is very smart from a financial standpoint. And the last thing that Samantha included, which I didn't even ask this of her, it was just really nice of her to include. She said, here are some stats if you want them. I currently have about 35 regular students and 34 followers. I have 10 badges and 136 parent ratings. My 5 Apple feedback percentages are as follows. January was 19.6%, February was 13.6%, March was 20.1%. I have 936 finished classes before I started teaching today. 44 of them were in January. February, she taught 421 classes. That's a correction. I thought she taught 426. Sorry about that. March, she taught 409, and so far in April, she has taught 63. I am currently in Tier 5 for the new incentive scale. I expect to be in Tier 6 in June. I currently have 33 certifications. The only certifications that I do not have are not currently available, and level 8 because she's waiting on the advanced level 7. My finish rate is 100%. I have 0 cancellations, 0 no-shows, and 0 IT cancellations for each month. I also have a 100% UA-CF submission for each month. UA and CF means unit assessment and class feedback. You have to submit feedback within 12 hours of a class in order to receive full pay and for your stats as a teacher to stay consistent. Now, these are all of the things Samantha did in order to teach 421 classes during her first full month of teaching with VIPKID. There are some things that are a bit intense, but if she did it, then you can do it too, and I hope this helps you to increase your booking rate. All right, that's all I have for you today. Stay tuned because we have 2 more interviews coming with 2 additional successful teachers with VIPKID, and we'll go into detail about how they were able to get as many classes as possible during their first 2 months of teaching as well. If this was beneficial to you at all, please subscribe to our channel. You can do so below. I'm also going to create a PDF with all of this information, so it's consolidated and it's in a downloadable form. You can get this PDF by subscribing to our email list, which I will link below. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.